Hello, everyone. Okay, we got a special topic for everyone today. I've actually done a blog post about this exact topic a while ago, but I want to do a live stream about it because I think it's very important. How important do you think are first impressions? If you meet someone for the very first time, you want to give them a good look of how you are in your studio. You don't want to give a bad impression because then the person might be offset by that. So we're going to be talking all about first lessons today because we want to make this count. We want to be able to give a memorable first lesson, get the students excited to come back again. So it's definitely going to be fun today. So I got something special. I got a freebie as usual. If you want to get today's show notes, you can give me the word first. Now I see some people saw I was testing out. We were testing out the bot there. So I saw the second and third. But yeah, don't worry about that. So, because it's all about first lessons, first impressions. That's how you're gonna get the free show notes. And I got a bunch of links that I'm gonna be sharing with you today, a bunch of resources. So these show notes, I also included the links for all of them for you. So there you go. So let's talk about a few things. We have a couple of goals we want to make when it comes to the first lesson. So for me, those goals might be to be able to show the potential student a little bit about my studio, a little bit about me, so they know what kind of studio they're getting into. Maybe I'm more of a fun teacher. If they're looking for someone more serious, and then maybe I'm not the best teacher for that. I like to make things fun and exciting. So if they're not interested in that, I want to be able to show that now so that they're not wasting their time with me. And I also want to be able to see what the student is like, what they're expecting from lessons, how they're going to make sure that I know that they're going to be practicing, and what kind of songs they want to play. And the last goal is we want them to get so excited so that they can come back every week. And so the parents will also get excited as well. It's not just about the kids. You have to get the parents on board if they weren't already, and get them excited to pay lessons every month, right? And I see lots of first comments. Yay! I see Linda's here. Hi, Linda. And yay! And April. Nice to see all of you again this week. Okay. So your goals might be different than mine, but I'm thinking that all of our goals might be pretty similar to each other. Okay. So the very first thing that happens when a student walks in the studio is I want to give them a good introduction. I want to introduce myself to them and the studio. So I like to show them around the studio, give them a good look of everything because they're going to get used to it later on. And I know a lot of you are still teaching online lessons, maybe 100%, 90%, I don't know. Even if it's online, you can just show them around the room so they can get an idea where they're teaching from. It might be still interesting for the student to see. I got a couple of features in my studio that I like to share with the student. A couple of things is you might have heard that I do certificates like these for my students whenever they finish books or surpass a unit, or any practice challenges that I do. And we have a billboard right here. And you can see a little bit the corner right there. So usually that is filled right now. I don't have students coming in this room, but that's the perfect chance. I like to show them with the billboard and what kind of certificates students are getting and it kind of helps them open up to how your studio is like. And then another great thing that I have a photo book, and I know photos are kind of hard copy photos like these are outdated, but it's really cool that I am able to have them printed out already. So every 6 months, what I do is I take some of my best photos from our lessons, from recitals, and I print them out, and then I have them all available in our photo book. And sometimes I show this at the end of the lesson to a student because we do trophies, and that's one of the key features, the highlights of our studio. So I like to show the trophies that kids are getting. But you could also, if you have siblings sitting there, maybe you're planning on teaching both of them. Sometimes I have the other sibling wait and just check out the photo book. Sometimes I have the parent checking out the photo book if they hadn't seen these photos on my website already. So that's just what I do. I found that that's a really cool idea to introduce myself with the studio. Okay, and also I'm curious if anything that I'm sharing with you right now, if there's anything that you guys do similar. I don't know if anyone's done the photo book before, because I came up with that idea myself, but if you are, I would love to know. Or anything else. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of other ideas with everyone, but if you do the same idea or something similar, I would love to hear about it, and I might share them right here. Okay, now once they get a good look into my studio, now it's going to be about them. So I want to learn more about them. So sometimes I ask them questions. It just depends on the student. Sometimes I notice they tell me they go to a certain school. I say, oh yeah, so-and-so also goes to that school. I teach a couple of students there. Do you know them? They're in the same level, same grade as you. And we just kind of see how the conversation goes. Sometimes it can just be about their personal life, or it could be music related. Sometimes I ask, have you ever played any songs on the piano before? Sometimes they're like, yeah. And I have them show me. So even if it's something they just learn by ear, it's just fun for them to be able to show me whatever they know already. And it just makes them feel more comfortable with me in the studio, helps them open up. Now, some students, some younger ones, or maybe older ones, I don't know, may still be a little bit shy. Don't worry, because I always have other things to help them open up, which I'll be sharing about later. But this is just a chance for the student to share a little bit about themselves. And then what I'd like to go from there is give them a few basics with piano. Just some simple ideas. For example, we check out the groups of 2 and 3 black keys on the piano, and I like to have them play all the groups of 2, all the groups of 3, and then I show them, hey, did you know that we can play softer sounds on the piano? And if we press the key harder, we can make them louder as well. Now, fun thing that I like to do with all my students on the first lesson is have them improvise. I love teaching improvisation any time of the year, but the first lesson is especially awesome because it allows them to explore the piano even more, and it's very easy for them, and a lot of them can catch it up pretty quickly. So I just give them a little example of something that they could improvise. Then I join them. We do it as a duet. You can still do this with online lessons. I've had some new students join me online, and what I've been doing is there is a delay, but I play my teacher duet part ahead of time, have them listen to it, then I just say 1, 2, ready, go, and then they just improvise with me. I like to usually turn down my phone volume or whatever device you're using so you won't let the delay affect you, but they just love doing this. But you can also record the duet ahead of time and send it over, and then have them access that during the lesson. You can do anything like that. And if you're curious, I got the perfect resource for these improvisation. I have a songbook actually. It's only on improvisation because I'm not serious about it. And it starts, the first section is all about the black keys, the groups of 2 and 3. So I actually go through these pieces first with the student on the very first lesson. I'm going to show a little preview. So here's just one of them. It's called Inspiration. And I know there's a glare, there's always a glare. And this one is the groups of 2 and 3 black keys. So what I do is just play it for them so they can hear. And then we talk about what kind of notes they can be playing with the duet. So let me show all of you here. And I can just show you how I go through this with the student. So that's just a little preview. So what I talk about is what kind of notes should we use? Should we use some softer notes or some louder notes? And then I might ask them why. Why softer? Because it's more relaxing. So I say maybe we want some slower notes. We can explore some faster notes. This one actually in particular uses both the groups of 2 and the 3 black keys. So sometimes you can have them go around, use all the higher groups of 2 and 3 black keys and just explore the range that they have. It's just a lot of fun for them. But there's also other duets. There's one for just the 2 black keys, one with just the 3 black keys, and then besides this, there's another one with 2 and 3 black keys. So it's just a lot of fun for them. So that's from my inspiration book. And speaking of that, I'm doing a special store-wide sale to celebrate the summer, because why not? And everything is 20% off. Check this out. There's my little banner there. I like these banners a lot. And so the whole entire store, including these resources I'm sharing with you, are on sale just until this Sunday. So if you like one of these ideas, you can easily include them during your lessons. And the show notes that I'm sharing with you, by commenting the word first, also gets you access to all these links. So there you go. The next thing I want to share is, okay, I'm just reading through my notes here. So I like to give them a fun and easy practice song for them. Now this is optional. Sometimes I do this. It just depends on how the lesson goes, how quickly the student's learning or how old they are. But usually for my older students, I like to teach them something by rote. And a great example, you can do Old MacDonald. You can do Mary Had a Little Lamb, something that they've heard of. Or I have a bunch of pieces of music that are perfect. They're actually designed to be taught by rote. So one of them that I teach is called Sunrise, and it has the student using C and E, and then the only rhythms they have are quarter notes and whole notes. And the pattern is just repeats. It's very simple for them to catch on. So sometimes I like to teach them a practice song like this, and it usually just takes 5 to 10 minutes. And then after they learn it, then I add in my duet part. And that's where it gets really fun, because all of a sudden we combine it together, and then they're amazed how much they can learn in just 10 minutes. That's going to be a memorable moment that they'll never forget, definitely. So here's a little sneak peek of that one. So I can show you exactly what's going on. So there's our C. And then what they do is just keep repeating the pattern. Actually, I'm going to tilt it down just a teeny bit. And then let me take that out so you can see. There we go. So I just have them play C and E, and then they move up. Keep moving up. Back down. Back down. And if you want, you can also also teach technique at the same time. You decide. And then I add in the duet part with them. And they just love those relaxing kinds of songs. A lot of them. A lot of my students. Oh wait, there we go. So I have that one that I like to teach for them. Very easy for them to learn. And then I also like to teach anything from Alphabet Party. It's another songbook that I have. And that one's really great. If you want to teach the letters, music alphabet, and the letters on the keys, Alphabet Party is just having them identify all the C's on the piano. And then you teach it by rote, and they have teacher duets. So I've actually been doing this. You can teach this for really young preschoolers even, or I mean, any age you want. I've tested this as young as 3.5. My 3.5-year-old student did this because she's been taking lessons for me for 6 months. But I also done this for another student who is 13, and she's only been taking, we did that on the first lesson. So she finds all the C's on the piano, and then you hold them out. Let me share a little sneak peek of what's going on, because sometimes it's a little hard to describe. So they just have practice songs for each key of the piano. Here's Crazy Cat, because of course we need cats for everything. And they just have you playing all the C's, holding them out for 4 beats. So also teaches them how to keep a steady beat as well. And then again, having it as a teach duet part is very motivational for them, especially on the first lesson. But like I said, I don't do that part for all my students. Sometimes I like to just do the improvising, and then I go on to the game, which I'll be talking a little bit later. But that was Alphabet Party. Again, I got the links for everyone. You can give me the word give me the word first, as in first lesson, first impressions, first anything you want, and my messenger bot will be sending all the links and the show notes from today's live stream if you like having all the notes jotted down for you. You don't need to do them yourself. And then don't forget that all these songbooks I'm sharing are on sale because everything on the store is on sale. So like I said, those links are in the free show notes for you. Okay, now let's see. Okay, now you might be wondering, what about transfer students? Because we don't teach them exactly the same. Well, if you think about it, we don't teach every student exactly the same either, but especially for transfer students, a few things. I still introduce myself in my studio. I still ask them questions. Actually, the asking questions part might be really important, especially for transfer students. But, and I also improvise with them. It works for older students, more advanced students as well, not just beginners. But I do not teach them the few basics of the black keys. And I usually don't give them a practice song like that. So what I do for them is I let them know ahead of time, if you have any old books from your old teacher, just bring them with you during the lesson. And then I'm gonna have you, and then during the lesson, I ask them, oh, is there a song in here you like a lot? Or something recent that you've played? And they just go through the book. And then they just play it for me. I check out how they're playing it. I notice what fingers they're using, if they're getting the dynamics, notes, rhythms, all of that. And sometimes I like to make notes. Even better, if you can make notes after and just remember how the student was playing the song, because some of them might be getting a little afraid that you're making notes of them while they're playing, but you can do it however you want. And just so I know exactly what they know. But not just playing a song will be enough. I also, depending on how hard the song that they were playing, I like to give them a really easy song based on what they're already playing. So for example, if they were playing a song from, let's say, Piano Pronto Movement 3, I would pull out the prelude book and then give them a song from there and see how well they sight read it. And then this is a great chance because I notice some students can play a song really well, but they can't sight read really well. And that gives me hints as to how their old teacher was teaching them. So then I make notes on how they're playing the notes and the rhythms and in catching any of those small details. And like I said, if you are able to, I would recommend trying to remember these notes and just writing them down afterwards. But if you are able to, you can try to make the notes during the lesson in a sneaky way so that they don't feel too uncomfortable. And then just go from there. If the sight reading song that they got was way too easy, then step it up a notch. Maybe go to movement 1 or movement 2. It just depends on the student. Or maybe it was too hard. I'm sure some of you have gotten students like that, where they come to you with a really advanced song, and then they sight read something really easy, but they're not able to play it. So I hope that's not what's happening to your studio, because that's definitely really frustrating. I've had that happen before as well. But just go from there and see how that goes, so you can get a really great idea. So based on the songs that they've been playing, then I figure out which method book they will need that best suits them. Okay, and it's not a lesson without a game. Gotta have games. I love my games. So I like to share with them that I'm pretty serious about games. At that point, I know you guys can't see this, but some of you have seen the older live streams. There's a bookshelf right there, and I like to show them there's a whole entire shelf dedicated to games, and it just shows them how serious I am. And I like to pull out a game based on what we talked about during the lesson. Actually, I'm going to be sharing a couple of games with you today, and some of them are free, and they're all linked in the show notes. So the first one is actually something that I made. It's really great for preschoolers. I noticed some younger preschoolers struggle with identifying the groups of 2 and 3 blackies. So I got this free blackie bingo, and it is really simple. You notice while playing, there's many different ways that you can get a bingo, and you can get a bingo pretty easily because there's only 2 options, 2 blackies or 3 blackies. But it gives the point, it makes it really easy for those young preschoolers to be able to identify those groups of 2 and 3. So at this point, I got my animal erasers as game pieces, or you can use pebbles. I've got both of them. I give them the option. The pebbles, I should have brought them out for everyone to see. I forgot to do that. Sorry, everyone. But I got these clear, cute little pebbles, and from the dollar store, great deal. And I get my animal erasers. I know a lot of other teachers use them. Let me know if you do as well. They're just really cute little game pieces. Of course, I got a cat eraser. I got dog erasers. I got koalas, pandas, frogs, you name it. I got probably 50 of them because they're really crazy about figuring out with those erasers. And yeah, this one's definitely a fun game. So like I said, this one's free. And if you notice in the show notes, I made a note that says join as a member to get them as free. Because on my website, there's a special page for members. It's just creating a free account, and then you'll be able to get access to this freebie. And I also have a couple other freebies for other games. But yeah, this one's included. And another game that I like to play, maybe for just slightly older students, another free game. This one I did not create, but I love it so much that I have to share. It's called Quarter Note Hunt. And so I have, oh no, sorry. Okay, I have these little note cards, and they open up like this, and you can just prop them up. I like to hide them around the room, and I realized this is also a really great way for the student just to get comfortable with the room. They get to search around and see where everything is. Gives them that chance to just be able to look around and start feeling a little more comfortable. And you can, I mean, the game is called Quarter Note Hunt, so obviously it's designed to be able to find all the quarter notes in the room. But I've actually used this for other rhythms. I might say, okay, I want you to find all the half notes in the room, all of the whole notes in the room. And there's also some dotted half notes, but I think there's only 2 in the whole deck. So you can play it however you want. You can also say, I want you to find all the rhythms that have 1 beat or 2 beats, 3 beats, or 4 beats. So definitely lots and lots of fun. Recommend this one. But yeah, like I said, I have the link for this one in the show notes. Just give me the word free. I mean, no, not free. Don't give me the word free. Give me the word first. And then one last game that I want to share. This is another game that I created. It's called I Bet You Can't. I know some of you have already gotten this before. And this is really great for transfer students. I still like playing games with the transfer students. So I get an idea on exactly what terms they know and what I need to be teaching them. So these games are really great because they go over a bunch of just basic musical knowledge, terms, definitions. So this one's the primer level, and I have it on just regular paper, so it's see-through, but you can print it on cardstock. And so this one, play all the C's on the piano. And so these games are really fun because they give you a specific amount of time, and it gives them a little pressure to go as fast as you can. And so how it goes is, I bet you can't play all the C's on the piano in 10 seconds. Ready, set, go. And then I have a stopwatch with me that I just keep track of the time. And you can also adjust the time if the student's a little slower. But that one's a lot of fun. I have it in a couple of levels as well. Again, in the show notes, just comment the word first to get access to those. Oh, and then by the way, again, all of these resources that are mine, that they're on sale this week, because it's been a really long time that I've done a store-wide sale. And so I have the links for all of them for everyone below, and the freebies in the show notes. And you can check out that sale that will be ending this Sunday. So I like to mention that a couple of times for anyone who's tuning in live. And I see Nicolette. She has students that take all day to pick out the eraser that they want. Oh no. Well, maybe you need to have just 10 options, so it just takes 30 minutes. And okay, and then the last thing that we talk about, oh wait, one more thing about the game time. I noticed, so if you get a lot of students, new students that are younger, maybe they're a little shy. I have cases where 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds come in, they're really quiet, Sometimes they don't say anything at all. Sometimes they don't even improvise on the piano, which isn't awesome. But if that happens to you, what I've done is I just went and did the game first. And then all of a sudden they start opening up a little bit more and start talking a little more. And then all of a sudden they're really chatty. And then I just go back to the improvising, and then they're having fun with it. But if they're already opened up and they're willing to improvise, then just start with that first and save the game for last, because that is their best, that's the last memory they have when they leave, is that fun game they played with you. And the last thing I talk about is I have, at the beginning of the lesson, I give them a policy form and a student information form. Just ask them questions like the first name, last name, email, phone number, anything you want. If you are like me and like to share photos or videos of your students on your website or your Facebook page, this is the perfect chance to ask them, have them give you permission to post these photos or videos. So I just ask, do you give permission for me to share photos or videos of your child on my Facebook page or my website? Yes, before I see the photo or video beforehand, and no. So that's the perfect chance. We're actually, last week, we're on my piano language teaching group. We're talking all about our Facebook pages. And so I was talking about, I like taking photos of my students and sharing them on my page. So that's the perfect chance to get permission. That's the easiest way. But you can also go over other questions, maybe make up policies, or however, any kind of policies that you need to go over. This is your chance. And then I like to ask the student and the parent if they have any questions for me. And then I go over some homework with them. I make this really simple. Usually I have the recordings of my duet parts when we were improvising together. And so that's usually their homework, is just improvise with them during the week. But the homework could also be to purchase a keyboard or to purchase the books. And then this is also your chance to give them any book links that they might need. Sometimes I have some papers that have the photos of the books, but you can also just, afterwards, you can just send them the link on Amazon, make it really easy for them. And then, usually at this point, the kid's excited and the parent's excited, because by then, you've done a couple of things. They've gotten comfortable in your studio. They've learned enough about you. You've learned enough about them. They have learned a couple of fun things. They've done some duets with you, and they've sounded really amazing playing duets with you. And they might have learned a new song, and they've played an exciting game. And usually at this point, they're ready to sign up and take lessons with me every week. And that's how excited I get. I would say 90% of trial lessons I have, I get them signed up right then and there. Other 10%, sometimes they might need to take a few days, which is fine. If they do say that, then make sure you follow up with them maybe 2 or 3 days later and ask if they're ready to sign up, and you can schedule a time with them every week. Okay. So again, final words. Don't forget the freebie. I have the show notes for everyone today because I went over a lot of stuff. And then give me the word first, and then it should be working. My bot will be sending you a message. Let me know if that's working all right. And then don't forget that we have a limited time store-wide sale. Celebrate the summertime. And the coupon code is summer, really easy and simple. So as I said, the show notes has the links to all the resources that I've shared. But if you like any particular books, maybe the inspiration that's the book where the students improvise. I also have Sunrise available by itself, or if you like a good deal, I have available in this really big student book. It's a repertoire book. It just has 33 pieces, and Sunrise is part of that, including a bunch of other rote music and note songs to teach by note or rote or improv or however you want. And then the Alphabet Party book, those are all on sale. Everything else is on sale. So yeah, just enjoy that coupon code while it lasts. And I hope you've enjoyed this week's live stream. I hope I will see everyone again next week because I will be in piano language teaching. So I hope I'll see you there. Okay, bye everyone.